If you're a student struggling with financial debt, well, you're in luck. Because in today's video, we're going to talk about financial aid programs for students with disabilities. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A student with a disability is someone who only looks like me, a wheelchair user. In actuality, most financial aid programs describe a student with disability as someone who has a physical, cognitive, learning, and mental health impairments. So you can be considered a student with a disability if you have conditions like ADHD, insulin-dependent diabetes, and dyslexia. And therefore, if you are diagnosed with a condition, you will be able to apply for bursaries and grants for students with disabilities. There are grants and bursaries at the federal level, the provincial level, and at the school that you are studying at. These bursaries and grants can be used to pay for equipment, services, or general student fees. In this video, we'll go through the grants and bursaries at the federal level for the Government of Canada and at the provincial level in Ontario for the Ontario Student Aid Program. The Canada Student Grant for Students with Disabilities is an annual grant that can be available for students to help pay for their studies. Although this is a federal grant, it's actually paid and administered through your province. You may be eligible for this grant if you demonstrate financial need and are enrolled in a designated school that is approved by the program. To qualify, you also have to have a disability that is recognized by the Canada Student Financial Assistance Program. You must also have documentation proving your diagnosis. Currently, the grant is $2,800 per year for every student that meets the eligibility criteria. The grant amount is fixed, so it doesn't matter what your assessed needs are, and therefore it can either reduce or even eliminate the amount of loan that you might need to get. I don't know about other provinces, but in Ontario, this grant is one of the most straightforward things that you will have to apply for. If you have a permanent disability, then you only have to show documentation once, and then every time you apply for OSAP, you just click on the box that says disability, and the grant is automatically applied to your account. If you have a persistent and prolonged disability, which is a condition that will affect you up to 12 months, then you may have to do documentation more than one time. If you require funding for services and equipment, then you can apply for Canada Student Grant for services and equipment. The application is made and the funding is administered through your provinces. Similar to the first grant, to be eligible for this grant, you have to have a disability recognized by the federal government, you have to be enrolled in a designated school, and you have to fill out an application proving your diagnosis. You also have to get written documentation from a qualified professional as to the need for the services and equipment and also the estimated cost of the service and equipment. As of 2025, this grant is $20,000 annually, and they consider the year to start on August 1st and end July 31st of the following year. For more information about either of these federal grants, a link is in the description. The Ontario Bursary for Students with Disabilities is a bursary that helps pay for education-related costs such as equipment and services. The bursary can help pay for things like educational assessment and note-taking, and as of right now, it's a $2,000 bursary. In Ontario, the bursary shares the same application as the Canada Student Grant for services and equipment. I think the reason the bursary and the grant are on the same application is the fact that they overlap in some of the things that they pay for, but they are also different in other aspects of what they pay for. Since the bursary is $2,000 per year and the grant is $20,000 per year, that should be enough money to pay for equipment and services. Again, you do have to provide documentation of not only proof of your disability, but the proof of the need for the service and equipment. The Ontario Out-of-Country Bursary for students who are deaf or hard of hearing is meant to help students pay for post-secondary education who are deaf and hard of hearing. Eligible applicants must be going to school outside of Canada, be enrolled in 40% or more of the course load, and the primary language of the program must be the American Sign Language or the French equivalent. The bursary funding is meant to go towards the cost of your education, such as traveling costs, room and board, and tuition. To qualify, you have to provide documentation of your hearing disability. The bursary is issued by check and is usually delivered in 2 to 3 installments, depending on the length of your program. For more information about either of these bursaries, a link is in the description. If you receive income through the Ontario Disability Support Program, you can still apply for OSAP. You will still receive ODSP for your income needs like shelter and food, and then OSAP for your educational costs. And in fact, any income you receive during your university and college time is fully exempt from ODSP. But you still have to report any OSAP funding that you receive to your ODSP caseworker. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Tune in next week where we will talk about bursaries and grants for students with disabilities in Alberta and British Columbia. And if you like this video, please don't forget to share, like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on your notifications, and I'll see you next week. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and turn on notifications. Tune in next week where we will discuss other resources for adults with physical disabilities.